Hello there friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and today I'm going to be giving a first time reaction to an artist named Marianne Faithfull. We're going to be checking out two of Marianne's songs today. First starting with Why'd You Do It, and then the second is the Ballad of Lucy Jordan. For both of these songs we're going to take a listen and we're going to try to deep dive onto the lyrics to come away with a bit of a deeper meaning. And fair warning, there is going to be a lot of potential crass language, at least I'm told, so just be aware of that. I'm excited to check this out. As always, I really don't know what to expect from Marianne today, but that has never deterred me on this channel. Before diving in, let's please thank Frank the Snazzy for making this donation request. And Frank dedicated this. It was a bit of a long one here, so it got cut off, unfortunately. But Frank writes, "To Roxanne, my old roommate, whom I played song number 1 for when she caught her fiancé in bed with her brother-in-law." I mean, I can't even imagine. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. So if that has anything to do with the song in store for us today, we are in for it. So without further ado, let's jump in.
It's about sexual jealousy. When I'm on stage singing this song, I can allow myself to have these negative, petty emotions that nobody wants to carry around all the time. And I hate them. Jealousy is a poison, but it's a part of me. It's part of being me. And I have to let them out. And so I do it when I sing this song. And it's just wonderful. It's one of the most
good,
wonderful
the bad, the ugly,
feelings
right?
To be able to do it. And I think everybody feels better after that song. I'm sure they do.
We may get a very unfiltered vibe today, we'll see. Interesting mix so far. It's almost like too sparse for what I was expecting.
When I stole a twig from our little nest and gave it to a bird with nothing in her beak, I had my bowels and my brains put into a vice.
Oh my god.
And twisted around for a whole fucking week. Why'd you do it, she said. Why'd you let that trash get a hold of your cock? Get stoned on my ass.
You can hear the ferocity in her voice.
Why'd you do it, she said. Why'd you let her suck your cock? Oh, do me a favor, don't put me in the dark.
Don't ignore me, right?
She said. They're mine, all your tools. You just tied me to the mast of the ship of fools.
I was just one of many. You used me.
Why'd you do it, she said, when you know it makes me sore? Cause she had cobwebs up her fanny, and I believe in giving to the poor.
Oh wow. This song, and definitely this performance from Marianne, it's all very dirty, grimy. It's very real at the same time. These emotions, these situations that are honestly all too common. If it's never happened to you, it's probably happened to a friend of yours, or at least a friend of a friend. I don't understand why people cheat. I think I've discussed this on the channel before. You can be ethical, you can be honest, and get everything you want, but I guess part of why one would cheat is because the deception is part of their enjoyment. And it's so tragic because it is at the cost of others and their sanity. And in a way, you have to go into this dark place of self-deception to view what you're doing as the cheater as being okay. Because otherwise, how could you be okay with yourself if you don't numb that part of who you are just for like the hedonistic pleasure? I've never understood.
Why'd you do it, she said? Why'd you spit on my snatch? Are we out of love now? Is this just a bad patch?
It's so vulgar.
Why'd you do it, she said?
And in the instrumentation, there's almost this like built-in anxiety. Maybe that's a bit of projection, but I feel like it hasn't quite resolved yet musically.
Ain't nothing to laugh. You just
Or
tore
melodically.
all our kisses right in half. Why'd you do it, she said? Why'd you do what you did? Betray my little oyster for such a low bid.
So there's this like comparison that's happening too.
Why'd you do it, she said? Why'd you do what you did? You drove my ego to a really bad skid. Why'd you do it, she said? After all we've said, every time I see your dick, I see her cunt in my bed.
Wow. Yeah. Because then it's a constant reminder that what we had is not sacred between us. It's constant betrayal.
The whole room was swirling. Her lips were still curling. Why'd you do what she said? Why'd you do what you did? Why'd you do what she said? Why'd you do what you did? Why'd you do what she said? Why'd you do what she said? Why'd you
Wow.
do
Yeah, it's
what
boiling
you
over.
said?
The frustration, the anger, the betrayal that she all feels. And even the music getting louder to support that just outburst. Yeah. This is performed at a cathedral. I'm just reading the description here.
Oh, big gray mother,
Big Gray Mother.
I love you forever. With your bar, wire, pussy, and your good and bad weather.
Oh wow. It's like the piano is dissolving. The melody's getting more chaotic. Jesus. Marianne Faithfull. That is what a way to enter the world of Marianne. That song is drenched in pain, in sarcasm, in theatrical vulgarity. It is very, very crass, but as she even said, she has to go to that place to be real with her own emotions, because anger and betrayal, these are all real human feelings and emotions, and when they're put on full display, they can be very jarring, but humans are allowed to be jarring. Let's check out the lyrics here more specifically, and there's a lot of words that I'm not going to say out loud here, but we'll make it through. While I stole a twig from our little nest and gave it to a bird with nothing in her beak, I had my balls and my brains into a vice and twisted around for a whole bloody week. So from the perspective of the man, I gave away the twigs of the nest for our relationship. And a nest is, of course, a place that you can go to, relax and also foster and grow an amazing relationship. And we both contribute to that nest, adding our twigs, but instead I've decided to go out and cheat. I'm giving twigs away, eroding the foundation. Why'd you do it, she said. Why did you let that trash get a hold of your bell end? Get stoned on my hash. Why'd you do it, she said. Why'd you let her blank your blank? Do me a favor, don't put me in the dock. Why'd you do it, she said. They're mine, all your tools. You just tied me to the mast of the ship of fools. Right? Why'd you do it? Why did you do it? Every single time. And it's almost like she's taking the perspective of being impersonal, as if she's not involved in the situation. Why'd you do it, she said, as opposed to why'd you do it, I said, and recounting the past. It's an interesting narrative framing. Then it begs the question, hey, why did you do it? We had this foundation and you threw it all away. You treated me terribly as a result of your actions. Our relationship is now more transactional and impersonal because of what you've done. And there's also a lot of the comparisons here, even in this word trash and some of the other lines, this other woman as being lower than life. And, we don't know explicitly if this woman knew that this man is in a relationship or if she was deceived as well. But it's also understandable to have vitriol to that other woman. Why'd you do it, she said, when you know it makes me sore? 'Cause she had cobwebs up her fanny, and I believe in giving to the poor. This is almost like the pure sarcasm right here, because nothing was going right for her, or for me in this case, and I wanted this. I wanted access to you. I wanted for us to be intimate, and it didn't ever happen. Why'd you do it, she said, when you know it makes me sore? But then it's also not happening because they're sore. I'm trying to combine these two in a way that makes sense. Why'd you do it, she said, when you know it makes me sore? So she's saying that it's causing her pain. Yeah. Why'd you do it? And she's also treating it like the sarcastic part is the charity. Why'd you do it, she said. Why'd you spit on my blank? Are we out of love now? Is this just a bad patch? Yeah, so now their own intimacy is becoming more impersonal. Why'd you do it, she said. Why'd you do what you did? You drove my ego to a really bad skid. Why'd you do it, she said. Ain't nothing to laugh. You just tore all our kisses right in half. Yeah, all of the ego, all of the self-esteem that one can cultivate in the confines of a relationship immediately go out the window, because what foundation do you now have? If you don't have trust, you don't have anything in a relationship. It feels like all that we've worked towards is for naught if it brought us to this place. Why'd you do it? She screamed. After all we said, every time I see your blank, I see her blank in my bed. Why'd you do it? She said. Why'd you do it? just the repetition here. Betray my little oyster for such a low bid. Again, it's like there's multiple emotions here. It's her angry at him, her also like I guess like being very mean to the other woman, and then still being left with the realization that this is what you did and now I can't unsee it. It's always going to be tainting our relationship. The whole room was swirling. Why'd you do it? She said. Why'd you do what you did? Her lips were still curling. A lot of repetition here. Why'd you do what you did? And then the end. Oh, big gray mother. There it is. Oh, big gray mother, I love you forever with your barbed wire blank and your good and bad weather. This, I'm not sure I actually understand. Big gray mother, that is not a term that I have heard before. With your barbed wire blank, so maybe like the older women, with your barbed wire blank and your good and bad weather. Like, I understand now women who are in their older ages and have gone through something like this with a partner who cheated on them, and now their own downstairs area is barbed wire. It's inaccessible. It's dangerous if you would even attempt to access, because of how closed off they are to the idea of relationships with the good and bad weather, good and bad days. I think that's a rough interpretation. Please let me know what I may be missing in the comments below. Again, it's a very like brutal song in the way that Marianne is singing about it, and of course the action of cheating is equally as brutal and fatal for a loving relationship. Just don't do it. Let's jump into the next tune here, the Ballad of Lucy Jordan. It's such a different arrangement in this song. Very synth heavy.
At the age of 37, she realized she'd never ride through Paris in a sports car with the warm wind in her hair.
So her dreams kind of falling away.
So she let the phone keep ringing, and she sat there softly singing little nursery rhymes she'd memorized her daddy's easy chair. Her husband, he was off to work, and the kids were off to school.
I don't know where this is going. So it seems like it's just kind of recounting of this woman's life, this woman's dreams that she had, and seemingly many of these dreams have not come true. What she understood about the world, the things that she was promised, are not coming to fruition the way that Lucy Jordan may have expected. Let's see where this goes.
Off to school, and there were oh so many ways for her to spend a day.
She's a stay-at-home mom.
The house for hours, or rearrange the flowers, or a naked through the shady street, screaming out the way.
Yeah.
At the end,
It's like all of these banal things that, stay-at-home wives end up having to do, and like rearranging the flowers, which it's sort of like downplaying those who enjoy to do that, but also at the same time, it is such a banal task for a lot of people that for me, like, I would just be stewing. I wouldn't know what to think. I would almost be like understimulated, almost constantly cleaning the house for hours. Is that the life that you want to be living for real? Maybe, maybe not. Now she's running through the streets screaming, like having this break. Yeah, and like thinking of those romanticized visions. Now she's like soothing herself with those nursery rhymes.
Touch gently on the eyes of Lucy Jordan on the rooftop where she climbed when all the laughter grew too loud.
She's avoiding the laughter because she's not in.
She bowed and curtsied to the man who reached and offered her his hand, and he led her down to the long white car that waited past the crowd.
Somehow this, and she bowed and curtsied to the man who reached and offered her his hand, and he led her down to the long white car that waited past the crowd. Somehow this, to me, it feels like it has very dark underpinnings, almost as if she's like about to or did commit self-deletion by climbing to this rooftop, and now she's on her way down to the long white car. Could that white car be representative of the pearly gates, potentially? And curtsy to the man, maybe the man of her dreams, the person that she had wished she was with. Let's keep listening.
To the long white car that waited past the crowd.
Because it's not her husband, she's kind of referring to the man impersonally.
At the age of 37, she knew she'd found forever as she rode along through Paris with the warm weather.
So she actually made it to Paris, but making it to Paris at 37, I think it's self-deletion. Oh, geez. That song, this song, it's like almost a bit like Uncanny Valley for me, the way it kind of comes across, but lyrically is where all of the substance is. And that's a very tragic ending to it all as well. Let's jump in and discuss. So we start off with the morning sun touched lightly on the eyes of Lucy Jordan in a white suburban bedroom in a white suburban town. She lays there beneath the covers, dreaming of 1,000 lovers, till the world turned to orange and the room went spinning around. These, to me, these first two paragraphs here feel like what she was may have been thinking when she was young. Dreaming of 1,000 lovers, till the world turned orange. It's all like very creative, very like childlike things to think about. And, the morning sun touched the light, almost like the genesis of something new. So being new to the world and having these hopes and dreams. But then the rude awakening at the age of 37, she finally realized she'd never ride through Paris in a sports car with the warm wind in her hair. These things that she had romanticized for herself, they are not coming to fruition. These dreams that she had are not for her anymore, not for her to experience. And it's a weird thing, because expectations that we have for ourselves in our lives, they both serve us and can betray us. Because depending on the kinds of expectations we set routinely, we may or may not be able to reach those expectations. I had this quote for a long time. I don't necessarily stand by it as much these days, but it's interesting to think about. Expect the worst, hope for the best. That's what I was thinking for a long time. Expect the worst, hope for the best. Be realistic and have that outside negative option be a real thing, but hope that it's not. Hope that that it doesn't manifest that way. And over time, I slowly changed that idea. I changed that to expect the worst, but do your best. Because in the previous iteration, there's almost no agency in how to change your own circumstances. Expect the worst, hope for the best. Expecting and hoping, these are all things you can do in the confines of your own room, but doing your best is to step out of yourself and be larger than the life that you currently have. Expectations are hard. They are very hard to manage. And they can lead us astray, but these aren't even improper expectations to have. And when they're unmet and now you look at the life that you have without even realizing it, it can paint your entire world in a different light because you have been going for so many years. And only after reflection, you realized I didn't actually achieve the things that I wanted to. So she let the phone keep ringing and she sat there softly singing like little nursery rhymes she'd memorized in her daddy's easy chair. And now just like reading this after having gone through the entire song, it feels even more foreboding than I expected originally. Because now whatever responsibilities that she has, the life that she's supposed to be maintaining, quote unquote, she's just going to let the phone keep ringing now and let herself be at ease with who she is. Sing those nursery rhymes that remind her of the days when she was younger and had those dreams. Her husband, he's off to work and the kids are off to school. And there were oh so many ways for her to spend the day. Yeah, literally. You're just stewing, not having anything to do, being understimulated, feeling like there's nothing for you in life. Was this the life I was meant to live? She could clean the house for hours or rearrange the flowers or run naked through the shady street, screaming all the way. You could literally do anything, but I love the way this paragraph narratively is structured because it's two tasks that, kind of reveal the banality of at-home life. And if there's nothing happening that's stimulating at home, nothing for your own benefit truly, then it leads you to, let's say, running naked, screaming all the way through the street. It would be logical because you don't know what to do. There's a lot of inner turmoil in that banal world. It's hard to reconcile. At the age of 37, she realized she'd never ride through Paris in a sports car with the warm wind in her hair. So she let the phone keep ringing. She sat there softly singing pretty nursery rhymes she'd memorized in her daddy's easy chair. And then here's where the song takes the final shift. The evening sun touched gently on the eyes of Lucy Jordan on the rooftop where she climbed when all the laughter grew too loud. And it's now evening sun, right? No longer a morning sun when the day was starting, when life was becoming more hopeful for her. Now it's towards the end, the evening sun. Finally, things are setting. She's realizing, she's accepting this is not the life that I wanted, and I don't think I'm going to get the life that I want. Now I'm on top of that rooftop when all the laughter grew too loud. That line is interesting because laughter in this context implies that others are laughing and it's growing louder. So she's making her way closer to this party. All the laughter grew too loud. It's like everything is coming to a head here and all of the noise in the brain is getting to that loud place. And she bowed and curtsied to the man who reached and offered her his hand. This man is death, but also her dreams, presumably. And he led her down to the long white car. They waited past the crowd. And then here's the final dagger. At the age of 37, she knew she'd found forever as she rode along through Paris with the warm wind in her hair. Like, that last paragraph is, at least for me, confirming that this was a story that led to self-deletion. Now, I don't know if this specific story is coming from a very real example, but I know plenty of real-life examples of this kind of thing happening to people. And, you know, in my culture, coming from an Indian background, a lot of women are housewives. They stay at home, they cook, they clean, they take care of the household, and end up not really doing much for their own betterment because they're not shown to do that. They're not allowed to do that. And not to divulge too much of my own family life, but my mom was restricted almost entirely by her in-laws because of that culture, because that's what's supposed to be done. That's tradition. People are people are people are people. You cannot squash somebody else and their dreams because you have a vision for them. On this channel, we preach peace, love, positivity, and that means being at peace with yourself. That means being at peace with the decisions of others, so long as they're not harming you. You shouldn't impose your will onto them either. I'm very sensitive to people telling me what to do and imposing their worldview on me, because those things don't have to be imposed. It can be discussed. We can talk about it. We can communicate our thoughts and feelings. And when people are then led down life paths that are either not of their own choice, or they're going into it with their eyes shut, not realizing the life that they're creating for themselves, and at the end find out that I'm not where I want to be, it's a failure on every account. From the top down, the bottom up. I mean, it is, and then it's ultimately tragic because you can't blame anybody. This is just the circumstance it is, and that's why I really hope that as a society we can all, over time, at least inculcate the idea that everybody is an autonomous individual. They have the rights to themselves and to be themselves, truly, what they want for who they are. So long as it's not hurting anybody else, go for it. And the stories of Lucy Jordan, I would hope in that kind of a world, in that utopia, quote unquote, would be less common. This is a very interesting double reaction today. I hope y'all enjoyed my perspectives here. It's interesting hearing Marianne Faithfull for the first time. It's not an artist that I was ever aware of before. I think musically, this is not really up my alley. Lyrically is where it gets me really thinking. So I'm curious to know your perspectives on Marianne and these songs in the comments below. But I hope you enjoyed the reaction today. If you did and would like to request one yourself, you can always do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.